I think the highlights in Rio were sailing in an iconic venue, really having excellent sailing conditions, really surprisingly excellent sailing conditions, particularly outside the bay, where we had big waves, big breeze, really exciting conditions. So I think the key for Rio was flexibility. We always were expecting challenging wind conditions. There's a lot of current in the bay, but also we had water quality concerns in the lead up to Rio 2016. So for us, it was all about flexibility. We added additional racing areas. We had built-in reserve days for all of the events, 3 reserve days for each event. And in the end, we managed to finish one day ahead. We had 1 reserve day still to go, but we had, I think, fantastic performances from all of the athletes, and ultimately we crowned 10 incredible Olympic champions. So right now for Tokyo 2020, we know that we're definitely going to be putting forward the 10 existing events and equipment that we had in Rio. So the big question now is whether or not we want to try and see whether we can get an additional 11th medal, or whether we actually could have the opportunity to have some showcasing events in Tokyo. And I think the IOC is very keen to reach out to all international federations and see what additional value they could bring to the Tokyo Olympic Games. So we have some opportunities, I think. I mean, we're committed to gender equity in 2020. So we will be obviously promoting women's sailing hugely over the next 4 years, which I think is a really powerful message, not just for us at the Olympics, but across the sport of sailing. World Sailing has absolutely decided that we will still promote the 10 that we already have. Ultimately, it's a decision for the IOC, but World Sailing absolutely wants to see the fin in Tokyo. Well, it's a huge balancing act, as you said. You know, we need to deliver universality, we need to deliver gender equity, but also innovation. We need to appeal always to a younger audience, a new audience. And it's challenging, not just for sailing, but for all sports. At the Olympics, we have 10 events, and we can really use those 10 events to showcase the whole sport. We have the lasers and the windsurfers, the RSX, which we know can bring in the universality side of our sport. But then we now have the NACRA that we introduced for Rio, but for Tokyo it will now be a foiling NACRA, and that really is going to demonstrate the cutting-edge, innovative side of the sport. There's always political pressure, outside pressures for wanting new events to come into the games or old ones to go out, and it is a complicated juggling act. We should be looking at opportunities to find new ways of reaching to a new audience at the Olympic Games, and offshore I really think could be a powerful way for us to do that. I think also particularly for the Olympic Games, to have an endurance sport, which there really isn't one right now apart from maybe the marathon. I think it would be extremely appealing for the IOC as well. Earlier this month we launched our Paralympic strategy, basically a roadmap for how we will get reinstated into 2024, and you'll see in 2017 we have a huge focus on the 2.4 metre in particular, and making sure that we're doing what we can to engage with nations to get them actively involved in sailing the 2.4 with us to do this, and we've had some really encouraging signs from the IPC that they will welcome an application from us.